Welcome back to Brock Likes Gundam. Alright, jumping straight back into the build. No intro this time. We're picking up right where we left off, starting with the feet of the Epyon. These parts are actually more intricate than I expected. There's a lot of layering here, multiple segments that stack to give it that sharp, aggressive silhouette. Very fitting for Epyon. You can already tell this thing is designed to look fast, even when it's just standing still. I'm taking a bit of time here to make sure everything lines up cleanly. The color separation is doing a lot of heavy lifting, so getting those pieces flush really matters. Alright, it looks like Supervisor Brock has reviewed the workflow and has approved a speed build from here on out. Just know that all the sanding will be done off camera. With that cleared, we can move a lot faster. Finishing up the feet here, everything snaps together nicely, and honestly, it already feels really solid. Good stability too, which is important because this kit looks like it's going to have some serious presence when it's done. Moving on to the legs. Now this is where things start to get more detailed. You've got a lot of armor segments wrapping around the inner frame, and the mechanical design really starts to show. I like how the darker inner parts contrast with the outer armor. It gives it that layered, almost skeletal feel. As I'm building this, you can really see how Epyon leans into that sleek, almost dragon-like design language. Everything is sharp, elongated, and just a little bit menacing. I'm making sure the joints are moving smoothly here too. You don't want to finish the build and realize something's stiff or misaligned. So, quick checks as we go. Time for a quick snack break. Even Supervisor Brock has to charge up after all that work he's done. But also, it's best not to disturb the big boss during his meal. We should probably get back to work. Finishing up the legs now. Once both are done, you really start to get a sense of scale. These are long, lean, and definitely built for dynamic poses. Next up is the waist. This section is a bit more compact, but it plays a huge role in how everything connects. It's basically the anchor point for the entire lower and upper body. So I want to make sure everything is seated properly. There's some nice articulation built into this section too, which should help a lot with posing later on. Alright, moment of truth. Attaching the legs. Everything clicks in clearly, and just like that, we've got the lower half of Epyon standing. Always one of my favorite moments in a build. It really starts to feel real now. And you can even see the stance taking shape. It's got this forward-leaning, ready-to-strike kind of posture. Now we're bringing in the upper body and connecting it to the waist. Nice and secure. No loose connection so far, which is always a good sign. Alright, time for one of the most iconic parts of Epyon, the wings. These are a big deal. They're not just for show, they define the entire silhouette of the kit. Starting with the inner structure, then layering on the outer armor. There's a lot of symmetry here, so it's just repeating the process on both sides. But it's worth taking your time to keep everything consistent. As these come together, you can already tell they're going to have a lot of presence. They're large, they're sharp, and they really sell that almost demotic aesthetic that Epyon is known for. And yep, that changes everything. The moment these go on, the kit goes from nice to wow. It just expands outward and suddenly feels way more imposing. Last major piece for this part, the weapon. Epyon's beam sword is iconic, so I'm excited to see how this turns out. The build itself is pretty straightforward, but the design is clean and aggressive, just like the rest of the kit. Not overly complicated, but it doesn't need to be. Sometimes simplicity works best, especially for something that's meant to stand out visually. There's still more to come, but this is definitely the point where you can step back and appreciate the design. Thank you so much for sticking through part 2 of the build. If you enjoyed this, there's more coming as we continue working on the Epyon. And of course, thank you so much for watching Brock Likes Gundam. Special thanks to Supervisor Brock for keeping things efficient. And we'll see you next time when we start customizing Epyon.